Ma'am, shall we begin the session, ma'am?
Hello? Sure.
Okay, ma'am.
Every sunset brings the promise of a new dawn. Get your thoughts calm down. Get all blossoms. Good evening, everyone. With great joy and immense pleasure, I extend my warm welcome to all dignitaries, guests, and delegates present here for the Dr. Sudhiraj N Memorial Webinar Series organized by DIKSHA E-Learning in association with Ayurveda College, Coimbatore. In today's session, we will be discuss about identification and interpretation of Tantrayukti in Charaka Samhita by Dr. Akhina Sasidharan ma'am. Before starting the session, I would like to go through few of the basic instructions to be followed throughout the session. For uninterrupted class session, use laptop with high-speed internet connection. Please make sure your microphone is on mute to have a disturbance-free session. In case of any disruption, please check your internet connection first, and if the problem is within our network connection, kindly raise the issues in the chat box. Filling your full name to be displayed is appreciated. Any question can be raised posted in the chat box. Question raised will be cleared at the end of the session. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Anjana ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Rachana Sharif, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am.
Thank you, Soumya. Good evening. My humble pranams to the gathering. On behalf of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore and DIKSHA E-Learning, I extend a cheerful welcome you all for Dr. Sudhiraj Memorial Webinar Series. Today, we have our elegant speaker, Dr. Akhina Shashidharan ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Kriya Sharira, on the topic Identification and Interpretation of Tantrayukti in Charaka Samhita. I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and for being with us today. We all are delighted to hear your valuable experience and views on this topic. I delightedly welcome all our dignitaries, practitioners, and students who have joined with us today. I wish that you all will have a very engaging and wonderful session. On behalf of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, once again, I welcome you all delegates to today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Akina Shashidharan, Associate Professor, Department of Kriya Sharir, Sanskriti Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Madura, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Akina Shashidharan is recently working as Associate Professor in the Department of Kriya Sharir in Sanskriti Ayurvedic Medical College and Hospital, Madura, Uttar Pradesh. She took her PhD from Mandsaur Institute of Ayurvedic Education and Research, Madhya Pradesh, and has a teaching experience of 7 years. We are very proud to have you here on this session today, ma'am. Now, without any further ado, we will turn the time over to respected Dr. Akina Shashidharan ma'am to enlighten our minds with her knowledge. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful introduction. A warm good evening to one and all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the slide visible? Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Slides are visible. Okay. So before starting the section, I would like to like to thank DIKSHA E-Learning and Ayurveda College, Coimbatore for giving me a chance to present a paper here. Thank you. And also all the heads and committee members of the DIKSHA E-Learning. Before starting the session, I seek blessing from Almighty and all my gurus. The topic of my presentation is Identification and Interpretation of Tantrayukti in Charaka Samhita. So this session is mainly for students. So let me start from the derivation and definition of Tantrayukti. So this Tantrayukti is composed of two words, Tantra and Yukti. And the word Tantra is derived from Tan Dhatu with suffix san, And yukti is derived from yuj dhatu with the suffix tin. So tan means capacity to get elaborate, extend, stretch and compose, and stran means an instrument or a tool. So we can understand Tantrayukti can be together put as a tool or methodology to conjoin or aggregate the subject while composing a text. And it is defined as a methodology and technique that enable one to compose and interpret scientific treatise correctly and intelligently. So coming to the prayojana of Tantrayukti, both Acharya, Sushrutacharya and Charakacharya have quoted two examples, that is, the lotus blossoms when a sunrays falls over it and a light of a lamp illuminates a dark house. So the former, this examples, the former one indicates how a Tantrayukti can uh, elaborate a concept which is mentioned in short, and the later highlights on the good arthas. So how Tantrayukti can highlights on the hidden meanings. And also Tantrayukti helps in Vakya Yojana and Artha Yojana. That is the coordination of sentence which are otherwise scattered. That is known as Vakya Yojana. And Artha Yojana means disorganized, bringing, organizing words which is disorganized. Coming to the importance of Tantrayukti, a person who has learned Tantrayukti can attain the deepest meaning of the science, irrespective of the stream. A person, even with great effort, cannot attain great wealth without luck. Like that, a physician without the knowledge of Tantrayukti will ruin others and himself, as a fool unskillfully uses the weapon he is holding. The virtue of right knowledge will help protect self and others like a weapon used skillfully. Tantrayuktis are mentioned by different acharyas. So we'll see one by one. In Charaka samhita, that is Dridabala enumerated 36 Tantrayukti in Siddhisthana's 12th chapter. Susruta have mentioned only 32 Tantrayukti, and the whole chapter Tantrayukti Vijara, that is in Uttara Tantras, it is 65th chapter. The detailed explanation of all the Tantrayuktis are mentioned in that one. Ashtanga Sangraha enlisted 36 Tantrayukti, and there is no direct use of the term Tantrayukti in Ashtanga Hridaya. Chakrapani, the famous commentator of Charaka Samhita, in his commentary Ayurveda Deepika, explained 36 Tantrayukti with examples from Charaka Samhita. Delhana, commentator of Susra Samhita, in his Nimata Sangraha commentary, described 32 Tantrayuktis with example. Indu, in Shashilekha commentary on Ashtanga Sangraha, had explained 36 Tantrayukti with examples like Chakrapani and Bhattarachandra. He follows the path of Chakrapani and Bhattarachandra. In Sarvanga Sundara commentary by Arunadatta on Ashtanga Hridaya, detailed explanation of Tantrayukti can be found, but in Ashtanga Hridaya, there is no direct reference of the word Tantrayukti. However, Vakpada uses the word Tantraguna, on which Arunadatta comments that Tantraguna means Tantrayukti. Gangadhara, in his Jalpakalpataru on Charaka Samhita, explained each Tantrayukti with example from Charaka Samhita itself, following the line of Chakrapani. These are the list of Tantrayukti mentioned by different Acharya. So here I have taken Charaka Susruta and Bhattara Harichandra. Adhikarana, Yoga, Hedvartha, Padartha, Pradesha, Uddesha, Nirdesha, Vakyashesha. Prayojana, Ubadesha, Abadesha, Adesha, Arthapati, Nirnaya, Prasanga. Eganda, Neganda, Apavarga, Viparya, Purvapaksha, Vidana, Anumada, Vyakhyana, Samshaya, Aditaveksha, Nagadaveksha, Sosajna, Uhya, Samuchya, Nidarshana, Nirvachana, Sanniyoga, Vikalpa, Pratyutsara, Uddara, Sambhava. So here the numbers and names mentioned in Siddhisthana of Charaka Samhita, Ashtanga Sangraha and Arunadatta commentary on Ashtanga Hridaya are same. Susruta has not mentioned Pratyutsara, Uddhara, Sambhava and Prayojana. And Bhattara Harichandra has mentioned additional 4 Tantrayukti, that is Pariprashna, Vyakarana, Vyutkantra Abhidhana and Hedu. So according to Chakrapani, this can be included. So this 4 can be included in ones already stated. Chakrapani include Pariprashna under Uddesha, Vyakarna under Vyakhyana, Vyutkanta Abhidhana under Nirdesha, and Hedu under Pratyakshadi Pramanas. Coming to the explanation of Tantrayukti, here Chakrapani is a famous commentator of Charaka Samhita. So even though there are similarities in number and explanation, it is better to apply Tantrayukti applied by a particular author in a particular textbook for its understanding. So here I have taken the explanation of Chakrapani for explaining each Tantrayukti. So coming to the first Tantrayukti, that is Adhikarana Tantrayukti. Adhikaranam nama yadartham adhikritya pravartade kartaha yada vignabhuda yadarogya ityadi. So it is a subject motive, or it's a central theme in respect of which a statement are made. That is Adhikarana Tantrayukti. According the roga, which is an obstacle in obtaining purushartha, and thus the Adhikarana of Ayurveda is nothing but roga. This is an example given by Chakrapani in Adhikarana Tantrayukti explanation. Yoga, yoga nama yojana, vastana, padana, ekikaranam. So it is arrangement of words in a sentence, that is yoga. So it can be better understood, yoga tantrayukti, or it can be application is more suited in places need to be elaborated, and it can be extended application of yoga is of Panchavaya Vakya. So we can see an example from Charaka Sharirasthana 3rd chapter, where related with Garbha, or the factors responsible for the formation of fetus is explained there. The statement made is that fetus is formed out of various procreative factors. So Hedu, that is for that pratiknya, reasoning is given that because it is having Madrajadi bhavas. Udaharana like Kudagara. Kudagara is nothing but a round shaped cottage used for a hot fermentation. Ubanaya, Kudagara construct out of various materials, like that fetus has got many things such as Madrajadi Bhava, and coming to a conclusion, Nigamana, that is fetus is formed out of various procreative factors. Coming to the next Tantrayukti, that is Hetvartha, when a statement is made in a particular context, that can be applicable to other substance as well. So Samana Gunabhyaso Hidaduna Vriddhi Karanam, that is the example given by Chakrapani for understanding Hetvartha Tantrayukti. Padartha, Padartha Tantrayukti, Padartho Nama, Padasya Padayoho Padana Va Arthaha. So one or two or many words individually or jointly may carry specific meaning, that is Padartha Tantrayukti. Example, the word Dravya means it, if the word Dravya, that means Panchamahabhuta and Chedana, but Ayusha Veda, that is Ayurveda, it is a combination of two words, that is Ayu and Vedaha. Pradesha Tantrayukti, partial statement of a topic which cannot be wholly exposed because of this extensiveness, that is Pradesha Tantrayukti. So we can see this application of Pradesha Tantrayukti in the context of Anupana, because Anupana are many in number. All the Anupanas cannot be explained in the same place due to its extensiveness. So only few are mentioned, and considering it as a Udahar, we have to understand the other Anupanas also. Uddesha Tantrayukti, mentioning something in a brief, Uddesha Nama, Samshepadi, Samshepabhidhanam, that is, mentioning something in brief is known as Uddesha Tantrayukti. The whole Ayurveda is made concise into one statement, that is Hedu, Linga and Aushata. Next is Nirdesha Tantrayukti. Nirdesha Tantrayukti is explanation or explaining the thing which are mentioned in brief, or detailed explanation of something is known as Nirdesha Tantrayukti. So detailed explanation of Hedu, Linga and Aushana is nothing but the old Charaka Samhita. Coming to the explanation of Vakyashesha Tantrayukti by Chakrapani, that is filling the words of short sentence which are not mentioned so as to concise the Shastra. So omitting any words to make it concise, that is known as Vakyashesha. So example is Pravartir Hedu Bhavanam. The word Asti is omitted, but the sentence should be completed by adding the word Asti. So here Pravartir Hedu Bhavanam Asti na Nirodhi na Nirodho Asti Karanam. That if here Asti word is omitted, by adding the Asti word we'll get the proper meaning. Prayojana Nama, Idartham kameyamanaha. Artha, the prayojana for which one proceed to do some work, that is known as prayojana tantrayukti. Dhatu samya kriya is the prayojana of the tantra. Coming to the Upadesha, Upadesho Nama Aptanushasana. The advice given by the Apta is known as Upadesha. That is, one has to go for, one has to do Snehana before doing the Svedana. That is a Upadesha, example given for Upadesha Tantrayukti. Abadesha, the statement that is pradigna is substantiated with reasoning or hedu, that is known as Abadesha Tantrayukti. Example given is among the pollutants Vayu, Jala, Desha and Kala. The later ones are more serious than the former one because the reasoning given is later ones are more unavoidable. That is because when considered this one, Kala is most unavoidable or more unavoidable. The reasoning is given by the Acharya. So it's Abadesha Tantrayukti. Coming to the Adidesha, Adidesha is nothing but extended application. Though it is not described by the author, but if it is useful, it can be incorporated from somewhere else in the Shastra. That is, example, Acharya have given the example in the context of Satvrita, that is code of conduct. It is said that honorable conduct, though not mentioned here, can be included in this one. Coming to the Arthapati, Arthapati is implication of unmentioned from mentioned. That is Arthapati Tantrayukti. Example is Naktam Dadi Bhojana Nishedaha. Artha Diva Bhunchido Dhyapathyate. That is, Dadi should not be taken at night, means it can be taken in daytime by following some rules and regulations. Nirnaya Nama Vicharidasya Arthasya Vyavastavanam. That is, the conclusive statement about the discussed fact is known as Nirnaya. So after discussing about the Chikilsa Chadushpada, it is concluded that the presence of all the Chadushpada, and if it is applied properly, it will lead to the preservation of health. That is conclusory statement. Coming to the Prasanga Tantrayukti, that is, it is mentioning of some fact again and again when it is relevant or when it is needed, mentioning of some fact again and again. That is known as Prasanga Tantrayukti. And in Charaka Samhita, Sutrasthanadhyaya 11, it is told that excessive exposure to Adiprabhadrishya is Adiyoga. The same context we can see in repeatedly in Sharirasthanadhyaya also. Coming to the Eganda, Eganda is a statement of fact without any alternative or any categorical statement. That is Eganda. That is, Nija Vyadis are produced by Sharirika Dosha. That is an example given for Eganta Tantrayukti by Chakrapani. Naiganda means it is opposite to Eganda. That is, they are not absolute or conclusive. For example, Shodasha Kalabeshaja, if applied properly, will do Arogya Rakshana, but not in those patients whose disease are asadhya. Apavarga is the exception or excluding one thing from a group of things. That is known as Apavarga Tantrayukti. Normally, Paryushida Anna is contraindicated, but there are some exceptions like Mamsa, Shushkashaga and Phala. Vivarya is a statement of contradiction or opposite. That is, Nidanakta Karanas are not Upashaya. That means it is opposite of Nidana or Upashaya in nature. Coming to the Purva Paksha, Visheshan of Pradigna with an objection is Purva Paksha Tantrayukti. That is, all fishes should not be taken with the milk. That is, the other object that no, this is not so. That is, they object that it is not so. Chilishima can be taken. That is option, Purva Paksha objection. Coming to the Vidana Tantrayukti, Vidana means explaining the method followed by Sutrakarta. That is Vidana. While explaining the Malayana, it is told that when Mala becomes vitiated and get increased in Matra and does Banda to the Malamarga, Malavritti should be understood, and Gaurava and Sangha, whereas Malakshaya is predicted by Laghava and Atyutsarga. Otherwise, Vidana is the order of explanation. Accepting others' opinion is known as anumata. That is removal of placenta itself is a shamana chigilsa. That is, by mentioning this, Acharya clarifies that he accepts the view of others, though it is not his own view. Vyakhyana, that is, it's a detailed explanation of something which is not known to all. For example, formation and month-wise growth of an embryo is explained in detail, which is not, that is in the Sharirasthana, which is not known to all. Samshaya is a statement which creates doubt and there is inability to decide on two alternatives, that is Samshaya Tantrayukti. For example, some say Sharira is formed by parents, some say that Swabhava, some say that Yadrishya, some say that it is due to some other reason. This is an example for Samshaya Tantrayukti. Adhidaveksha is a statement made in reference to the past. We can see Kuti and Shayana mentioned in the Jwara Chikilsa refers to the, it is already mentioned in the Svedadhyaya in Sutrasthana. Anagadavesha is the mentioning of thing which has to be discussed or described in future. For example, Tiktagrida mentioned in the treatment of Jara is explained later in the Kushta Chikilsa Adhyaya. So Sajna is a technical terms used in a particular tantra. The terms like Jaintaga, Holaga, that is a Svedana, different type of Sveda that refers to the, that is, this refers to the methods of Svedana, which are the technical terms particularly used in our tantra. Coming to the Uha Tantrayukti, it is a statement that which is not mentioned in the text should be deducted with an intellect. So the drugs which are told in Shatskanda, if not useful in particular disease, then they should be removed and no useful one should be adopted. Samuchaya is a group of facts collected together by using a conjunction ch, that is, Prakriti and Vaigruda Swara Varna, etc. are grouped in Indyasthana of Charaka Samhita. This is an example given by Chakrapani for Samuchaya Tantrayukti. Nidarshana is the explaining a subject with an example, that is Nidarshana Tantrayukti. That is, Avijnada Aushada is like Visha or Vajra of Indra, whereas Vijnada Aushada is like a Amrit or nectar. Nirvajana is a statement of illustration that can be understood only by learned. That is, example given is in the Sutrasthana Adhyaya 16 chapter, the 32nd sloka. Just like Kala is ever changing without help from any other thing, so also all the materials in the universe undergo change by themselves. This is the example given for Nirvajana Tantrayukti. Sanniyoga is a strict instruction from the author or Acharya on what has to be done. That is Niyoga. This has to be followed without any deviation. That is, Acharya have given a strict instruction that before undergoing the Kudi Sveda, you should not leave the Kudi even you become fainted. Vikalpa is a statement with alternatives or options. That is, in Premeha, the use of Charodaga and Kushodaga. That is the example for Vikalpana Tantrayukti. Pratyutsara is refuting others' view with some reasoning is Pratyutsara. That is why Ayurveda says Sharira is formed by Rasa because Vyadhis are Rasaja. Then Hiranyaksha objects and argues that Purusha is not Rasaja, but he is, or Purusha is Shaddaduja. And Vyadhi are also produced by Shaddadu. Coming to the Uddhara Tantrayukti, confirmation statement is made after refuting others' opinion with a reason or logic is known as Uddhara. Example is in the discussion of Utpatti of Purusha and Vyadhi, Atraya, after hearing all the views, refuted that and upheld its view that Sambat of Bhava leads to Utpatti of Purusha and Vipatti of the same Bhava causes Vyadhi with a logical reasoning. Coming to the Sambhava, that is Sambhava is a statement of source of origin. In the Viplu, Venga and Niliga that happens in the face, though there is no mentioning of the word face there, that then also Viplu Venganiliga, the reader should understand the place or site of happening is face. Coming to the discussion, that is in the discussion part, wherever this Tantrayukti will be applied in the Charaka Samhita, that is mainly in Vimanastana and Sutrasthana, slogas are taken and applied wherever this Tantrayukti, all the Tantrayuktis mentioned by the Acharyas, that is all the Tantrayuktis were applied. So we'll go to the discussion part. That is, first of all, we're starting with the application of Adhikarana Tantrayukti, the first and foremost Tantrayukti by all the Acharyas. And a lot of Tantrayuktis are directly dependent on Adhikarana for their correct application. So if we know the Adhikarana properly, then only we can apply many of the Tantrayukti properly. So the Rasa Vimana, the chapter name, the Vimanastana first chapter, that is Rasa Vimana. The chapter name indicates Adhikarana of the Adhyaya, that is Adhikarana of the first chapter in the Vimanastana is to explain the knowledge about the Rasa. And we can see this is Adhikarana of all Vimanastana, where the Dosha, Besha, Desha, Kala, Sharira, Sara, Ahara, Satma, etc. has been explained in order in the 8 chapters. Coming to the Yoga Tantrayukti, here in the sloka number 10 in the Charaka Vimanasthana, 10th first chapter, 10th sloka, Nahi Vikriti Vishama Samavedana, in the context of Vikriti Vishama Samaveda, that is here to bring the completeness of the meaning, some words are added like Dravyanam cha Vikaranam, Hedunam, Rasanam cha Doshanam, etc. Words are added to get the complete meaning. By applying this or supplementing these words, the statement becomes complete, like not in case of Dravya and disease, which follow Vikriti Vishama Samaveda, due to multiplicity in combination of causes, that is Panchamahabhuta and Dosha in the formation of Dravya and Vikara, due to suppression of one another, that is Rasa and Dosha in the Dravya and Vikara, and due to different Vikalpa in the Dravya used or combination of Dosha with the Dhatu in the disease. Coming to the Hedvartha Tantrayukti, that is in the Grishma Ridhucharya explained in Tasya Shuddhi Madhyaya, like one should enjoy the coolness of garden, cold water, etc. That is mentioned. It can be applied in the Pittobhakrama, which is mentioned in the Roganika Vimana also. That is extended application. Coming to the Padartha Tantrayukti applications, we can apply the Padartha Tantrayukti in Charaka Vimanasthana first chapter, 3rd sloka. That is here in the sloka Iha Kalu Vyadina Nimitta Purva Rupa, that sloka Mana Vihita Manasa. Here Mana in generally indicates a measurement, but in this Adhikarana, Mana indicates a Prabhava. And similarly, Kriya in general indicates any action, but here it indicates a Chikilsa. Coming to the application of Pradesha Tantrayukti, the Shemani are the aggregation of 10 samples, that is Valyani Bhavanti, Varnyani Bhavanti. So 10 drugs are grouped together, but it doesn't mean that there are no other drugs which have the same action, but for due to the extensiveness, to avoid extensiveness, only 10 are grouped in one place. Coming to the application of Uddesha Tantrayukti, that is in the context of Pipali, Kshara and Lavana, that is Trini Dravyani na Ati Ubayunjida, that the Dravya which should not be used regularly, that is Pipali, Kshara and Lavana, which is explained in short in the sloka number 15. At this, also we can see the application of Uddesha Tantrayukti in the context of Ahara Vidvidana, where Prakriti Karana, etc. are mentioned in brief in the 21st sloka, first chapter. Coming to the Nirdesha Tantrayukti, that is explanation or the short or detailed explanation of something is Nirdesha Tantrayukti. The same, that is Pipali, Kshara and Lavana. The explanation of Pipali, Kshara and Lavana, why it should not be used regularly. That reasoning is given. At the same time, we can see the detailed explanation of Prakriti, Karana, Samyoga, etc. That is Ashtahara Vishesha Ayadana in the slogan. Coming to the Vakya Shesha Tantrayukti, In the sloga, that is in the Charaka Vimanastana first chapter, 20 sloga, that is in the context of Satmya. Here, Tatra Sarvarasam Pravaram Avaram Ekarasam. So here in the sutra, Satmya word is to be added between, that is in Vakyashesha, we have to add the Satmya word to get the proper meaning. Then it becomes Sarvarasam Satyam, Satmyam Pravaram, Avaram Egrasa Satmyam, and Madhyamam Satmyam to get the complete meaning. Prayojana, in the slogan number 3rd, that is the prayojana of knowing the prabhava of dosha, beshcha, etc. explained in vimanastana for a physician is he will become capable of alleviating the disease. That is a prayojana. Upadesha, in the sloga number 15, there Pipalik, Kshara and Lavana should not be used too much, involved too much in this 3 dravya. That is the Upadesha given by the Acharya, not to use or not to avoid the use of these 3 dravyas. That is application of Upadesha, so Upadesha Tantrayukti. Coming to the Apadesha, reasoning is given why Pipali, Kshara, Lavana should not be used in excess. So we can see the application of Apadesha Tantrayukti in the 16 sloka number 16, that is in the context of Pipali. The proposition is that Pipali should not be used in excess. The reasoning is given by the Acharya that because it will increase Kaba because of its Prakledi nature, it increases Pitta by its Ushna Guna, and it won't reduce the Vada because it is not that much Snigdha to reduce the Vada. So that it leads to the increase of all the dosha. That is the application of nothing but Apadesha Tantrayukti. Adidesha application we can see in the slogan number 15, that is apart from the we can see the term used by Acharya, that is Adakalu Trini Dravyani Atyuvenchida Adhikam Anebhyo Dravyebhyaha. That is apart from Pipalik, Kshara and Lavana, other dravya similar to this should also be avoided. That is we can include, that is Chitraga, Palada, etc., which are having the same properties, that also should be avoided. That is nothing but the Adidesha application of Adidesha Tantrayukti. Coming to the Arthabhati, Stigdhamashniyat in the context of Stigdhamashniyat, Ushnamashniyat, there, that is from the meaning of the given statement, it can be derived that those who didn't follow the rule, the effect mentioned will not be gained by the eater. That is the benefits of Ushnahara is given. That is, it will, if one doesn't take Ushnahara, then Agni will not get increased. The food will not quickly undergo digestion. Vada will not undergo anulomana of Vayu doesn't take place. And also Kaba will not be in a limited quantity. So similarly, Arthapati can be applied in other like a Snigdhadis also. Coming to the application of Nirnaya Tantrayukti, that is in the Charaka Vimanastana 2nd chapter, 6th sloka, where Agnivesha asked, what are the reasons that bring disease with similar lakshana in individuals who are different in themselves by various factors like Prakriti Adi? So Atreya is giving an answer. Atreya replied that the vitiation of factors like air, water, land and time that are common for a society and the reason for Janapado Dvamsa. That is, he is making a conclusive statement after discussion. That is nothing but the application of Nirnaya Tantrayukti. Coming to the Prasanga, that is wherever needed, it will be explained once again. That is nothing but the Prasanga Tantrayukti. So here we can see in the Charaka Vimanastana, 1st chapter, 4th sloka, and also in the 6th sloka, that is Rasastava Shed, that is Madhuramla Lavana Kartikta Kashaya. This is already in the Sutrasthana 1st chapter. It is already explained in Sutrasthana 1st chapter, 65th sloka. But due to the relevance on this in this context, it is once again mentioned. Also, we can see Kadatikta Kashayam, Vadam Janayanti, Shamayanti, all those things. That is relation between Rasa and Dosha is already explained in the Sutrasthana 1st chapter. But again, due to the Adhikarana or the relevance of this topic, it is once again mentioned here. Coming to the Eganda, while explaining the reason for vitiation of air, water and land in the Janavadodamsani Adhyaya, that is, Prajnaparada is considered as a sole root for adharma. And also, if you see the Sarvam Dravyam Panchabodhikam Asmin Arte, that is, all Dravyas are constituted of 5 Mahabhutas only, that is, nothing but, or we can see another application, that is, in Charaka Sutrasthana, first chapter 15 sloga, Purusharthas, that is, Dharmartha Kama Mokshana, Arogya Mulamutamam. So, Arogya, if there is Arogya, then only one can attend all the Purusharthas. These all are the application of Eganda Tantrayukti. Coming to the Anekanda or Neganda Tantrayukti, you can see in Charaka Vimanastana 8th chapter, that is, Kala has been considered as 2, Nityaga and Avastika, and the Nityaga, that is Kala, it can be again divided into 2 or 3 or 6 or 12 or even more according to the nature of action. So that is nothing but the application of Aneganda, difference in opinions. Coming to the Apavarga, that is in the context of Vikriti Vishama Samaveda, that is, here not all the Dravyas and all the Vikaras follow Prakriti Samasamaveda. There is an exception, that is, this statement indicates that those Dravya that are exceptions to the general rules are also there. Coming to the application of Vipariya Tantrayukti, Rasa Dosha Sannipade, that is, Vipariyada Guna Bhuvishta, that is, in applying Vipariya Tantrayukti, in this statement, increase and decrease of dosha and alternate that Samana Guna Bhuvishta and Vipariyada Guna Bhuvishta will also leads to increase and decrease of dosha. So here Vipariyada indicates the opposite to that of dosha guna. So here the reader should assume whether the guna is in a particular dravya is how far opposite to that of the given dosha. Coming to the application of Purva Paksha Tantrayukti, that is, Lord Atraya states that Hidahara. So we can see the reference from Charashari, the Sutrasthana, 25th chapter, 32nd sloka number 32. That is, Lord Atraya states that Hidahara Upayoga causes Purusha Vriddhi and Ahitahara causes Vyadhi. So hearing this, then Agnivesha raised a doubt that actual practice, we find that so-called wholesome and unwholesome food articles bring about opposite effect depending upon the variation in dose, time, kriya, bhumi, deha, avastha, etc. So this is a vitiation of pratigna with an objection, that is Purva Paksha. Coming to the Vidana application, so we can see the application of Vidana Tantrayukti in sloka Charaka Vimanastana 13, sloka number 13, Taila Sarpir Madhunir Vada Pitta Sleshma Prashamanani Dravyani Bhavanti. That is, by the order of explanation, the reader have to understand that Taila will relieve Vada, Sarpi will relieve Pitta, and Madhu will relieve Kapha. So in order of explanation, and also we can see the order of explanation of Ashtavida Ahara Visheshayadana and Ahara Vidhi Vidana. And another example is Prana Udaka Annavahanam Dushtanam Shwasagi Kriya Akarya Trishnobashamani, that is, the treatment of vitiated Pranavaha, Udagavaha, and Annavaha. The same, that is, has to be our same orthos described for treatment of shasas for Pranavaha, Shwasagi Chikilsa, Udavagaha, Trishna Chikilsa, and Annavaha, Amapradosha Chikilsa has to be done. That is nothing but the application of Vidana Tantrayukti. Coming to the Anumada, application of Anumada Tantrayukti in Charaka Vimanastana 5th chapter, in this sutra, that is Adibahutvat Kalu Srodams, in the context of Srodas, that is in the sutra, the author has stated the opinion of others that some considered the Srodas as innumerable because they are too many, and some considered that they are numerable. The author had not directly refuted others' opinion, indicating that he agrees the others' opinion. That is nothing but the application of Anumada Tantrayukti. Coming to the Vyakhyana, in the context, that is, we can see a The application of Vyakhana Tantrayukti in the context of Prabhava in the Atreya Patragavya chapter, Acharya explains about the concept of Prabhava. That is, by giving an example like both Chitragandanti, both are Kadu, Rasa and Vipaka, but they are both are Ushna in Virya, and in spite of all the similarity, then that is a purgative while Chitraka does not. This is nothing but the explanation of Prabhava. So that is nothing but the application of Vyakhana Tantrayukti. Coming to the Samshaya, after hearing from Atreya about the Vayu Jala Desha in the Janabado Dhamsani Adhyaya, the features for their vitiation, the Agnivesha wanted to know that what causes their vitiation and how the vitiation of these factors have led to the disease which is responsible for killing of people. Vimanastana, first chapter, that is the context of Prakriti. That is, while explaining the context of Prakriti, the words Masha, Mudga, Shugara, Ena, all this are mentioned. That were there, the properties are mentioned in the Annapana Vidya Adhyaya, Charaka Sutrasana 27. And also the word Ritu Satnya. By applying the Adita Veksha Tantrayukti refers to Tasya Shidya Adhyaya, where all the Ridus are explained in detail in that chapter itself. Coming to the application of Anagata Veksha Tantrayukti in Charaka Vimanastana 24th chapter, 6th sloga number 24, 6, that is, in Ishtadesha, if one is not taking food in Ishtadesha, then they can be afflicted with the Manovighadagara Bhavas. That is, this Manovighadagara Bhavas refer to the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, etc. That is mentioned in the next chapter, that is Trivida Kukshi Adhyaya. Sosajna, application of Sosajna, that is the word Sarvagraha and Parigraha, that is Rashistu, Sarvagraha, Parigraha. The two Rashi can be Sarvagraha and Parigraha. They are technical terms in Charaka Samhita, so that is nothing but the application of Sosajna Tantrayukti. Here in the sutra, only two types of Aharya, that is in Charaka Vimanastana 2nd chapter, Trivida Kukshe, that is Murtana Mahara, it is mentioned. So here in the sutra only two types of Ahara as mentioned, that is Murta Ahara and Dravahara. So the reader should understand this with his own intelligence, that Murta Ahara refers to Ashita and Khadida, whereas Dravahara refers to Pita and Lehya. Coming to the Samuchaya application in Dirghanjivita Adhyaya, 16 drugs having useful, that is Mulini, are grouped together. That is nothing but the application of Samuchaya Tantrayukti, and also in Vega Dharani Adhyaya, the 13 Dharaniya Vegas are grouped together. All these are the application of Samuchaya Tantrayukti. Coming to the Nidarshana, that is giving example, Prachya China in the context of Kshara and Lavana, Prachya China, Bahika, Saurashtrika and Sauviraka are the deshas which are not popularly using Kshara Lavana in excess are given. This is the application of Nidarshana Tantrayukti. These are the examples given by the Acharya. Coming to the Nirvajana, Sarvasya hi graha, sarvagraha, sarvadashcha parigraha uchyade. Here the author has explained the etymological derivation of sarvagraha and parigraha. That is, the quantity of whole meal taken together is sarvagraha, and the quantity of each proportion of the meal, that is parigraha. This is nothing but the application of Nirvajana Tantrayukti. Niyoga, though these statements, that is Chahitepsu Revaha, that is, though the statements, the author had strictly directed the reader to eat only Hidahara. This is Niyoga Tantrayukti application. Vigalpana, coming to the Vigalpa Tantrayukti, Samana Guna Bhuishta, Viparita Guna Bhuishta. That is, there are options provided in the statement, either exactly similar dravya or dravya having near similarity guna, opposite dravya or dravya having near opposite guna. Here va indicates a vikalpa or option, that is application of vikalpa tantrayukti. In Sutrasthana 26th chapter, its slogan, that is in the context of Rasa, the stages like Bhadragapya, Shagundeya, etc. had discussed about Rasa, where Bhadragapya says Rasa is only one because Rasa is Artha of Rasanendriya and it is not different from Jala Mahabhuta. Then Shagundeya refutes Bhadragapya view and he took Egarasa and put forward his view that Rasa is a two Chedaniya, Ubashamaniya. Like this, the discussion goes on refuting each other's view. This is nothing but the example of Pratyutsara Tantrayukti. Coming to the Uddhara, the sages like Patrakapya, Shagundeya, etc. Discussed about, they have told their own opinion about the rasa, where finally, Lord Atraya concluded that rasas are only 6 by establishing his view. That is nothing but the Uddhara Tantrayukti. Coming to the Sambhava, that is Desha Punaha Sthanam. Here, Desha indicates a place or area from where the dravyas are grown and where the person who is taking ahara belongs to. By this, the guna of the dravya and satya of the person can be informed. This is nothing but the application of Subhava Tantrayukti. Coming to the conclusion, Tantrayukti is a very important tool in Vakya Yojana and Artha Yojana. It helps to understand the good arthas. There is difference in opinion regarding number and name of Tantrayukti, but they are nearly same. Tantrayukti preserves the originality of the science and thus keeps science alive by being applicable in all point of time. Interpretation of slogas using Tantrayukti helps to gain in-depth knowledge of the literature and thereby engage in success rate of statement. Understanding of a tantra using Tantrayukti makes the reader to get a comprehensive knowledge and connection between different sthana, adhyaya, prakarana, and thank you. Thank you one and all for patient listening.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for taking your time to prepare for us such an extraordinary, wonderful presentation, which was incredibly informative. Now we will go ahead to question and answer session. Delegates can post the questions in the chat box, or you can raise the hand so you can directly unmute yourself and ask the question to the ma'am. Now it's time for question and answer session. Delegates, please raise your questions in the chat box. I repeat, delegates can ask the questions through the chat box or can raise the hand so that you can unmute yourself and ask the question directly to the ma'am. Okay, ma'am. There is one question. Can I read it, ma'am?
Yes, please.
The question is, ma'am, can you please explain the application of Tantrayukti in research methodology?
Actually, it is a very big topic. That is, we can, in a research methodology, we can apply, for example, like Adhikarana. So if you understand the Adhikarana, then only you can understand all the other Tantrayuktis also. So first of all, you have to understand the Adhikarana of the context. Then if you read, for example, if I have told in Rasa Vimana that Adhikarana, if you understand, then after that, if you read each and every sloka, then only you can understand the meaning properly.
And Adhikarana is a subject matter of research itself.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question. Hello.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, the Tantrayuktis seem to be very important in understanding the samhita. So, why is it that the acharyas have mentioned it in Siddhi Sthan in spite of this Sutra Sthan? Any particular reason behind that?
First, the reason what I understood is, first of all, whether understanding or not, first we have to go through all the section, that is Tanas, and then understand the Tantrayukti, then you have to apply it. That is why it is given in the last.
Okay, so first we have to go through the whole
It's my
Samhita.
opinion. There is no clarification. That is, Parayana is needed. First of all, we have to start from the starting to the end. We have to read it properly. Then last, this Tantrayukti, how to apply it and everything we have to understand. Then we have to start reading. Then we will get a connection.
That's very logical explanation, ma'am. Thank you so much. There is one more question. The question is, what about the other Tantrayuktis in research?
So, in Pratyutsara and Uddhara, if you say it's a reasoning or our opinion, if suppose. So, in research also, Pratyutsara, Uddhara, if you are applying it, other opinions, what is other opinion? What is our opinion? So, like this, we can, in research purpose, we can use it. Like during discussions, opinion, that is one opinion, refuting others opinion, then what, substantiating with your opinion, taking others opinions.
Okay, ma'am. Any other questions? There is no more question, ma'am. Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Sure. So once again, I thank all the committee members and heads of DIKSHA E-Learning and also Coimbatore Ayurveda College for giving this opportunity for presenting this platform for me to present my topic or my views. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for answering all the questions. Now, I request Dr. Tulya Mohandas, Vice Principal, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, and the entire team of DIKSHA, I convey my sincere thanks to Dr. Akina ma'am for presenting this rare topic, and I am sure that everyone has got benefited from this topic. Then I again convey my gratitude to all the audience who have been here patiently listening, and thank you, ma'am, for answering all the questions. Okay, thank you. Take care. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. It's not even the beginning of the end, but it prepares the end of the beginning. Our next session will be on February 2nd by Dr. Vinay Shankar on the topic Madathyaya Management. To know more about our updates, please do stay connection with our social platform. That's all for today's most interesting session with a lot of new information for us to close our eyes with thought-provoking knowledge. Thank you all for joining with us. Thank you.